Hello everybody, I am Vian. Welcome to my channel, Not Just a Pianist. My older daughter Harmony has been learning horse riding for 2 years, and I've received many questions in regards to horse riding lessons. So, I decided to make a video to explain why I sent my daughter to horse riding lessons and answer the commonly asked questions about horse riding. Hello, I am Vian. Welcome to my channel, Not Just a Pianist.
So,
Today, our topic is horse riding for your kids. The first reason I have to say is the communication. My background is a music educator. I always believe being able to communicate with very young children and animal is the key to be a very good communicator. So I saw my daughter to try to communicate with her horse and try to engage in a relationship with the horse, and finally trying to be able to control the horse. This is something I think is significant and happened. And the second one is I think horse riding is a very good activity or exercise for girls. My daughter is that type of person, doesn't want to do basketball, volleyball, tennis, any active sports. Horse riding is also part of the sports, I have to say. So I think it's a bit moderate level and it's not that intensive. I chose horse riding. And the third reason why I chose horse riding for my daughter is because I know how to do horse riding. When I was only 5 years old, my mom actually enrolled me in a horse riding school in China. I remember that time, and I spent 5 years in that school until we moved to a different city. And I really enjoyed the time on the horse, not only because of I can see in a higher dimension, it's just I can feel that I'm actually riding a horse, and I'm being able to feel that sort of feeling like beyond, and it's just amazing. And the fourth reason why I want my daughter to do horse riding is I want her to challenge herself. I remember the first 2 months when she enrolled in the horse riding school, she is at the moment. She cried a lot, she complained a lot, and basically every week when she came home, she would say, "Mommy, I want to quit. Mommy, I want to quit. Mommy, I want to quit." But even she was crying, I didn't let her to quit. I want her to see herself. She's afraid of something, and she needs to have the faith to challenge herself, and eventually she can overcome that frightening, and she's able to know that she can do it. I think this process is very important for every young individual. And the last reason why I want to enroll my daughter into this horse riding course is because of the school she's attending at the moment. They have got this specialty, and every year they have got students participate in different competitions, and I wish one day my daughter will be able to join the school team and will be able to compete with other horse riding kids, and she can learn and grow from that environment. For horse riding schools, they operate from different time to time. For kids, the age gap is right from maybe 6 to 18 or 17. So normally they go and have their horse riding lessons after school, after 3 p.m. during the weekdays, and weekends you got more options from Saturday 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or Sunday 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are many different horse riding schools in the market at the moment, and it really depends on your need. And some of the horse riding schools may be very far away, but I'm pretty sure each suburb or each community, they have got more than one horse riding school for you to choose. Because horse riding in Australia and New Zealand is quite a popular hobby or curriculum we're talking about. Horse riding, I'm not very sure about the more advanced stream because my daughter only started horse riding 2 years ago. But averagely, every week we have to pay $70 equals to how much money in your own country, but that's just 70 Australian dollar per week. And the lesson time varies from individual lesson 30 minutes or group lesson 50 minutes. My daughter started at the age of 4.5, and at that time we started individual lessons because she's a complete beginner. She doesn't even know how to hold a horse. So we start with individual, and once she went to the second level, she joined her own group. And in the group it's also good because you can actually see how other people are doing. It's always a good reflection, and also the peer pressure can motivate you to be a good horse rider. Different horse riding schools and different horse riding instructors have different point of view. I think it's very related to our music lessons. When is the best time to study piano? It's hard to say. Mozart started at the age of 3. I started at the age of 3. But horse riding, some kids can start at the age of 3. It really depends on how tall you are, how good you are, how some motor skills. And my daughter started at 4.5. But most of the horse riding school recommending age of 5. So if you're age of 5, then you should start a private one-on-one lesson. So this question and answer only relates to my child. She's 6 years old and she only started horse riding for 2 years. Let's have a look. Her special Dora horse riding bag. What is in it? Open it and see. First, we need to have some boots. Have to make sure that they have a very stable and thick base. And the entire foot can be covered. They don't need to be fancy, but they need to be safe. Also, what's this? This is the helmet. Protect their head. They also have a pair of gloves. Why? Because they have to hold the horse. And if you don't have anything to protect your hand, you might have lots of scratches after your horse riding lesson, and you might have scars as well. Water, because this is also part of the sports, like I mentioned before. They need a lot of hydration. And this is my daughter's progression card. So instructor will actually write all the progress week by week. I don't have much expectations for my daughter to be able to compete in the Melbourne Cup or anything. The only expectation I have is I want her to continue to certain level or standard she can reach as far as possible, but never give up. This is something I really wish she can learn and understand. There are two particular things I really want to share with my friends and my fans here. The first one is actually Harmony, my daughter's instructor. She is a very, very strict person, and at the beginning I feel uncomfortable. I feel like she's very mean. If you are 10 minutes late, man, that will be the end of the world, because she will basically saying that you are 10 minutes late, you're out, you can't have this lesson. So at the beginning I can't understand this person, but later on, maybe only after 5 months or 6 months, I start to understand her. She's not only an instructor for Harmony, my daughter's horse riding lesson, she's actually an instructor for our life. She's trying to teach us and reminding us you have to be always organized, prepared, be on time, and be ready for anything. Because she told me later one day, in a very nice manner, if you're late, you don't have enough time to warm up with your horse. You don't have have enough time to talk to the horse. I am Vienne. Today I'm going to ride you. We're going to have a journey together. And all in a sudden, you just rush to the horse and start to do horse riding. And there will be a potential, and there will be a possibility the horse not ready, and she or he gonna do lots of crazy stuff, and you might just fall from the horse. And the second one is, my daughter actually cried. I mentioned that before at the beginning. She's a very smart girl, so she not only cried to me, and she also cried to dad, cried to grandparents. So our house at that time, when everyone is living in the same place, I'm being isolated because I'm the only one who's supporting my daughter to do horse riding. But my daughter, grandparents, my husband, they all say no, only because my daughter was crying. So I guess it's also a very funny thing you are about to face in parenting. You are having different point of view, different voices. So after 6 months, now it's 2 years later, my daughter is doing a fantastic job. So these two are the most memorable points I really wanted to share with you, and I think it will be very helpful and useful for you. It's not about horse riding itself, it's more about the family environment, and also how's your teacher, how important your teacher's behavior and her belief and responsibilities. So that's the 2 points I wanted to share with you. Don't forget to subscribe, not just a pianist, like me, or share my video with your friends. And also, please follow my socials, not just a pianist. I will see you next time.